Hello everyone, I'm here today to review a new possible test scent, not really sure, new candle from Bath & Body Works White Barn Candle Company called Winter Wreath. This was purchased probably at this point maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. I grabbed it shortly after I did the group of 4 or 5 videos detailing the various collections for the Christmas, holiday, winter candles. So we had the sweet Bath & Body Works Traditions collection, we had the Celebrations Toast the Night line, the Snow Day collection, and then the White Barn Woods or White Barn Winter collection, which this one falls in. Now the lighting in here is not obviously not natural lighting. It's getting dark out there, but I'll try to describe the label colors and wax colors best as I can with the spotlight we've got going here. So Winter Wreath, it's first of all, it's a new scent, or at least a new name. We'll get a little bit more into that as we go on here. But I was excited grabbing it, and hearing about anything new. I'm always excited. When they say Winter Wreath, of course, my mind goes, could it be Winter Garland? We've got so many candles this year between Apple Garland and Autumn Snow, and the different pines and things, and the Spice Wreath that I keep looking out for the Winter Garland, which was out back in 2010, 2011. Alas, this is not it. But keep on keeping on, keep the faith with that one. Winter Wreath here, though, is, of course, as you can see, the gold lid from the White Barn Gold Lid collection. The wax is kind of similar to like the Snow Day candle from last year, where it's like a really drab olive green, more towards just kind of a gray, almost charcoaly kind of wax color, so a little dim there. And the image is fairly generic. It's just some leaves covered in snow with some sort of nondescript white or frosted berry there. So not a lot to go on with that. Now the notes they give us are: welcome holiday guests with a jubilant mixture of sweet orange, sparkling winter pear, and a hint of rosemary. So the label and the color of the wax really don't match the notes they're giving us here. So they're saying like to welcome guests, so sweet orange, pear, and rosemary. So that sounds kind of fruity with a hint of herbal, which is right up my alley. I really love the idea of that. There's no pine in here. There's no really green notes other than the rosemary. So it's kind of strange the way they've decided to market this, but let's get a sniff, the most important thing. It's really, really, really nice. And sniffing it, I immediately was taken to realize that I'm fairly certain that this is nearly a complete duplicate repackage of a past scent, maybe a slight tweak, but I'm not entirely certain of that. And kind of surprisingly, the fragrance that I believe this is, if I have it over here, I'm trying to lift it over without not knocking anything over, is Merry Mistletoe, which most people remember from 2011 and 2012, I believe. This packaging, I think, is actually 2011. It came out last year in sort of the Sparkling Night collection, and the notes on this one, at least 2 years ago, read: a magical blend of frosted cranberries, blue spruce, and iced citrus make this a merry scent for the season. So this one had cranberries, spruce, and citrus, whereas this one has berries on the label, but it does mention sweet orange, which is citrus, but then winter pear as opposed to, say, your cranberry, and there's no spruce listed there. But when I smell it, I really do like this one. It was, Merry Mistletoe came out, and it was sort of like very similar to, what was it called? Winter Wonderland came out that same year, and they were kind of similar, but I think Merry Mistletoe sort of won out as far as what people preferred. So smelling that versus Winter Wreath, let's just see. Yeah, if they're not the same, they're like 90% the same candle. Sometimes with a candle that's 2 years old like this, it won't smell exactly the same just because the oils are getting a little older. It's not that any real changes haven't been made between the two. But yeah, they're basically, I would say it's pretty much the same candle, which, hearing Merry Mistletoe and the way that they described it before really surprised me that they decided to turn it into Winter Wreath the way they've marketed this here. But, they do some strange things. But more importantly, let me get into what it smells like. Now, it does have a bit of that sort of freshness, the outdoor air sort of note that you get from a fresh balsam. Not nearly the intense brightness or astringency, but it's got, again, from the blue spruce, which we assume is still in it, as noted on the Merry Mistletoe label, it does have a bit of that, but it's sort of subdued by sweetness of either the winter pear or the frosted cranberries. I would almost say there's sort of like that frosted cranberry, a little hint of that, the frosted cranberry candle actually, in this, where you get a fruitiness, but it's very got a tartness or a coolness to it. It's not a popping, bright, juicy, or super sweet fruit. What else? I suppose there could be some pear in there. Now that they mentioned, I guess comparing it to sort of their heirloom pears or other pear scents they've done in the past, there is sort of that kind of sweetness, but cranberry and pear really blend well together, obviously as we see in cranberry pear Bellini. They're kind of that winter fruit that it's sweet, but it's not a bright poppy, bursting sweetness the way that some berries and citrus can be. There is some citrus in this, but sweet orange, again, when they say sweet orange, that kind of comes through. It's not so much juicy as you almost get a little bit more of like the orange oil, like when you peel an orange and you see that little spritz of, orange essential oil basically from the skin or the rind coming out. It's more of that type of orange, which you also get in the winter candle. Overall, it's a really nice scent. I feel like it doesn't have a place because it's not particularly an outdoor piney, but it's not a sweet fruity. It doesn't have a particular mood that it really evokes or makes you feel, or kind of give you that scent memory of something. But at the same time, I really like it. And it's not, for anyone who's worried when they mention the touch of rosemary, I don't really get that. Perhaps sort of like the astringency of the herb, and like an intensity, but not anything overwhelming. And so certainly not anything, towards the cologne side of things. It definitely is a mix. It's very much the way that the candles go, similar to, say, Snowed In or White Barn No. 2, Chestnut and Clove. The way that those are, you can sort of pick out some notes, but they're more of a conceptual or high-end, true fragrance blend. So it's not trying to be a specific sweet treat or a specific fruit or a specific flower. It's more about just making, sometimes evoking a mood, or sometimes just smelling really nice, notes of the season, without a particular mood. I would say this is sort of like, sometimes I think of candles as, daytime or nighttime scents. Certainly there are some that go across the board, but there are some that stick more to one or the other. And this is kind of either or. It's bright. It's very much, I'd say for the most part, though, a daytime scent. Like on a bright but gray day. This is sort of what I get from this. Really like December, January, February. I would burn this probably, even though it was mistletoe and it's sort of holiday smelling, I would burn this one into January, probably, maybe February. Just really a good, solid, balanced blend of a little bit of pine with a little bit of fruit and a tiny hint of perhaps the herbal from the rosemary, but really I would have never picked that out if they didn't say that on there, so I'd say it's not even truly herbal. But yeah, just a really nice fragrance, which I hope it is a scent that is going wide. I would assume, since it's coming back from Merry Mistletoe and just renamed, remarketed, that it will be a wide candle, sometime in October, November. But so definitely I would say give it a sniff. It's worth probably picking up. That's pretty much all I've got on that one, I guess. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up below, and until next time, take care.